Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Inshallah, today we're going to be reciting the last quarter of the ninth juz in the entirety of the 10th juz, inshallah. That means we will be starting and finishing Surah Al-Anfal, and we will also be starting Surah Al-Tawbah, and inshallah we will be finishing Surah Al-Tawbah tomorrow, inshallah. Both of these surahs are very beautiful, as the whole Quran is, and there are some beautiful meanings in Surah Al-Anfal and in Surah Tawbah. That should be extremely beneficial for all of us, inshallah. In Surah Al-Anfal, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says, وَأَلَّفَ بَيْنَ قُلُوبِهِمْ لو أنفقت ما في الأرض جميعا ما ألفت بين قلوبهم ولكن الله ألف بينهم إنه عزيز حكيم. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who will join the hearts. That's why we keep making the dua that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam told us to make and advised us and taught us to make. Allahumma allif bayna qulubina. Oh Allah, join our hearts together. Yani, one word is to join. Alif, from the word ulfat, means to join the hearts where you're actually connected and you have the same mindset to an extent. So it's not just you're just tied together but you don't get along at all. No, you are together and you get along. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَأَلَّفَ بَيْنَ قُلُوبِهِمْ. He is the one who can join the hearts. لو أنفقت ما في الأرض جميعا ما ألفت بين قلوبهم. If you were to spend whatever's in this entire world, you will not be able to bring love in the heart. ولكن الله ألف بينكم. Rather, it is Allah who joins the heart. Some mashayikh and ulama, they write this as a wazifa, that if you want someone to love you, if there isn't love between the husband and wife, to get the wife to love the husband and the husband to love the wife, you should read this verse as much as you can, 100 times, 200 times, 200 times. لو أنفقت ما في الأرض جميعا وألف بين قلوبهم لو أنفقت ما في. Read it as much as you can, and it might make the other person love you. Because at the end of the day, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who will put love in someone's heart. So this dua of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu Allahumma allif bayna qulubina. Oh Allah, join our hearts. Wa aslih dhata baynina. And whatever disputes we have amongst each other, Ya Allah, reconcile them and remove them. Clear the disputes that we have. So this is a dua that we should make as much as you can. If you can't just read the whole dua, then at least this part, Allahumma allif bayna qulubina. Allahumma allif bayn. This is a time and an era that Muslims really need to be united. Our hearts need to be united, and any differences and enmity and grudges that we have need to be completely removed from our hearts, and we should all be focused on serving the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In another verse, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says, and this verse is remember, Surah Tawbah is, Surah Tawbah is one of the surahs is the only surah in the Quran that does not start with Bismillah. And one of the reasons why the ulama and the mufassirin mention why it does not start with Bismillah is because the first verse, بَرَاءَةٌ مِّنَ اللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ إِلَى الَّذِينَ عَاهَدتُّم مِّنَ الْمُشْرِكِينَ, is referring to the mushrikeen. So we didn't start with Bismillah, because of the fact it's dealing with mushrikeen, and that's the first verse that is dealing with mushrikeen. Other people say no, it's still part of the previous surah. Allahu A'lam, they're different of opinion. But one opinion is that because the surah starts with mushrikeen, so that means the surah will be dealing with mushrikeen, and there's a lot of beautiful nasiha and advice and reminders for us too, even though we might not be amongst the mushrikeen, inshallah, and we are amongst the believers. However, we might be committing sins that we didn't acknowledge or realize we were committing. So that doesn't mean that this surah is completely not useful for us at all. However, there's a lot of advice and nasiha for us in this surah too. In one verse, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, a very scary verse, وَلَوْ أَرَادَ الْخُرُوجَ, that if a person intends to go out, لَعَدُّوا لَهُ عُدَّةٌ, and he wants to go out, he wants to serve the deen of Allah. And I'm just giving an explanation of it, tafsir of it, what this verse is trying to say. A lot of people, they set out, they say they want to go do something for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. For the sake of this deen, they want to go do something. And they say that, we want to we want to go build a masjid, or we want to go donate a masjid, or we're going to go to the masjid to pray, or we're going to go read Quran. They intend to do something, but you know what? They just don't feel like doing it. So a person could say, I'm not reciting Quran because I don't want to. I just don't feel like it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this verse is saying, it's not that you don't want to. It's not that you don't want to recite Quran. وَلَكِنْ كَرِهَ اللَّهُ بِآثَهُمْ فَثَبَّتَهُم وَقِيلَ قُعُودُوا مَعَ الْقَائِدِينَ. It's not that you don't want to do it. I don't want you reading my book. I don't want you serving my deen. I don't want you to do something for my deen. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would deprive that person. This is why I always advise my colleagues, myself, and my students too, that one of the du'as that you should be making on a daily basis is, oh Allah, use me for the service of your deen and do not deprive me of serving your deen. Ya Allah, you are using me, you don't need me. Allah is Samad, Allahu Samad. He's not in need of anyone. He's Ghani, He's independent. We are all in need of Him. So Allah, do not deprive me of serving this deen. So it's not that you don't want to recite Quran, it's Allah doesn't want you touching His book. Allah doesn't want you reading His book. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us from ever reaching such a state that Allah doesn't want us serving His deen. So, وَلَكِنْ كَرِهَ اللَّهُمْ بِآثَهُمْ فَثَبَّتَهُمْ وَقِيلَ قُعُودُوا مَعَ الْقَائِدِينَ. Go sit with those people who are sitting on the corner. They're sitting over there, you go sit with them, we don't need you. So it's an honor, a privilege, a favor and a bounty and the grace of Allah that He allowed you to serve this deen. In my field, I have to collect a lot of donations. And I tell people that, look, when you're donating, you're not donating for me. You're not giving me the money. That money is not going to in my pocket. You are donating for the sake of Allah. There's this one particular donor that every time he donates, he has a habit of saying now, and this is very recent, that Jazakallahu khairan or Jazakumullahu khairan for the opportunity. You see, when somebody donates, they feel like they are doing the favor upon the community, for the masjid, for the madrasa. You're not doing a favor for anyone. Only person you're helping is yourself. So, when we give in the path of Allah, it is an honor and a privilege and the mercy of Allah that He gave us these opportunities. So whatever it may be, whatever way that you are serving the deen, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has showered His rahmah and favor and mercy upon you by allowing you to serve. He's allowing you to serve. He chose you. So the next time we want to do something, we thank Allah that, Ya Allah, Jazakallah, Ya Allah, we thank you for the opportunity of serving your deen. Ya Allah, continue to use us for serving this deen. We donated, Ya Allah, give me the strength to donate again. Ya Allah, I pray my tahajjud, give me the strength to pray tahajjud again. Ya Allah, I recited Quran, give me the strength to recite Quran again. Ya Allah, I read some ahadith of your beloved Habib sallallahu alaihi wasallam, give me the strength to recite more. Let it not be that we are not able to read the narrations of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam because we think we don't feel like reading. No, that's not the case. It's because Allah doesn't want you touching His book. Another thing to point in Surah At-Tawbah, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions the masarif and the people who can accept zakat, or the zakat eligible people. And this is the month of Ramadan. The Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said that whoever does a fard action in the month of Ramadan, he will get the reward multiplied by 70 times. So this is the month that majority of the people give zakat based off of this narration, hoping to get 70 times the more reward for this. So إنما الصدقات للفقراء والمساكين والعاملين عليها والمؤلفة قلوبهم, and all the masarif that are mentioned. But make sure that you give your zakat. Do not neglect. Do not refrain from giving your zakat and look for those loopholes where you don't have to give zakat. And the surah should be a reminder to give your zakat, inshallah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless us all. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept our ibadah and our deeds. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continue to use us for the service of His deen. Wa akhir da'wana. And alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Assalamu